Hi, it's Kamon Reynolds, and Merry Christmas, everybody. There's nothing that says Christmas like some honey caramels, and if you've never tried some from some real honey, you are in for a treat. It's not that hard to make yourself, especially if you have your own honey. And there are those out there that say whenever you heat honey to this temperature, you lose everything in honey, and it's essentially sugar syrup, which is a bunch of bee poop, because your taste buds will let you know that this stuff is far superior than sugar-made caramels. I mean, look, that's the honey that we used in this recipe. We just pulled it off, and I'll get to the instructions in just a minute, and also below in the comments and in the description we're going to have information on times, temperatures, ingredients. Alright, so what we have in here, right now we have the cream, we have the honey. I've been eating too many caramels, that's my problem. And then we are fixing to add some really high quality butter. You can use any old butter, but we really like that Irish, really nice grass-fed butter. You know, we have really nice honey, so you know, in my opinion, don't skimp and get some real vanilla, get some really good cream and butter, because your honey deserves it. Alright, now we've added that butter. I'll get to the measurements here in just one second, and here we have some natural vanilla. So those are the 4 ingredients: honey, cream, butter, and vanilla. And I don't know if you can see this at all. We're mixing that in there, and it smells so good. I'm telling you, you gotta try this. And we give these as gifts to friends and family. And, you know, gonna give me a whisk? Why, thank you. That does help out quite a bit. Now, there's a few things you've got to watch out for. And for those of you who have seen our video on how to make your own inverted syrup, we're going to try to do a follow-up video on that, because there's been a lot of people have some issues with it, and this is the same way. There's a lot of science behind cooking and art. It's very similar to beekeeping. There's a lot of science and art to beekeeping. You've got to understand the rules of engagement, and you also got to have a little bit of swag, and that is why Laurel did this. The last recipe that we tried to shoot a video on, she let me do it, and I burnt it. So we're going to have to figure out what to do with that. But it doesn't take that long to do. Same way with the invert syrup. There's a lot of chemical reactions that go into making caramel. And as soon as this gets to 275 degrees, and you can do it as low as 270 if you want it softer and a little more, you know, just soft really, you know, just melts in your mouth at that temperature, then that's going to work out good. But around, you know, 270, 275, don't go any higher than that, because it's not too far past that, and it'll just all of a sudden just like scorches. It's crazy. Ask me how I know. Laura was like, hand it over, let the cook handle it. But then I'm like, why don't you do the video? And she's like, I'll do the cooking, you do the running of the mouth. We all have our talents. Alright, so now that we've mixed all that in there really good, there's a lot of different things that you can do with this, but for simplicity's sake, we're just going to pour it in this pan right here. And then we're going to stick that in the freezer. And it won't take that long, and it's going to cool. Now, it only takes, if I didn't already say, 15 to 20 minutes to cook this stuff and mix it together. And I'll get the rest of that out here in a minute, or if it cools, I'll have kids help me lick it out. And let's go through everything that we've got to do. Now, what I really like when it comes to the caramels, once it's cooled down, mix a little bit of dark chocolate, get some good dark chocolate, and pecans. I absolutely love pecans, and this is kind of like the Christmas care package right here. You know, everyone loves getting honey from us, but they get it from us all the time. So this kind of gives your friends and family members something else that is still beekeeping related, but that is just on a whole nother level of awesome. And right here we have in parchment paper, and it really needs to be in parchment paper, because if it's not, it really wants to stick to the other types of papers. And maybe there's something else out there that I don't know about, but parchment does work very well. And right here, you have the caramel, underneath. You have the pecans, and basically what you do is you put the pecans down on a piece of parchment, and then you can pour or place the caramel on top, and then the chocolate, of course, goes on that. And I had Laurel make them this way this time, but a lot of times she will get really artsy and creative with them and do turtles and make other different things out of them. So, you know, I'm a man. I drag my knuckles on the ground, and it eats the same to me, whether it's in the shape of a turtle or if it's all in one rolled up ball. They're delicious, and it's all I can do to keep myself from eating these. I highly suggest that you make a bunch and then you give them away before you try them, and you know, save some for yourself. But if you try them before you give any away, you likely won't have any to give away by the time you're finished. They're that good, and it really depends on your honey type, how they're going to turn out. And that's what's so neat about honey. We need to let other people know about this, because honey is just not a sweetener, a natural sweetener. It is a unique sweetener. And there's literally hundreds, if not thousands, of flavors across the world. And the more I talk to beekeepers on YouTube and other places, the more I find out about the really neat flavors of honey and the different characteristics. And it's just so awesome. And we hope to, as we grow with this channel, be able to share more of those things with you, and maybe even interview at some point these beekeepers so you can get to know them as well, because I mean, this is just, to me, it's awesome. Anyways, I'll stop rambling. Hopefully at this point, if you've just been waiting at the edge of your seats waiting for the recipe, you've already looked in the description below, because I've rambled. So we have a cup of honey in this recipe. We have 3/4 cup of cream. We have 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla. That's correct, right? Mm-hmm. Can't read my own writing. 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla and 6 tablespoons of good butter. Now the trick is, again, you got to have the temperature just right. So 270, 275, pull it off. You need a candy thermometer. Whew, that's already thickened up on there. So good. So you got to have a thermometer. You just got to. And you got to remove it from the heat. Now, you don't warm it up with the vanilla and the butter in it, as you saw in the video. Make sure that you don't do that. That stuff doesn't need to be in there getting that hot, cooking. So just you can pour it in a glass like this, and there you have it. And it makes a great Christmas gift. So I'm sure there's other things you can do with caramels. And if you have any comments or questions, Laurel, did I miss anything?
You butter the dish.
Make sure you butter the dish. Exactly. Because you can't have too much butter, especially if you're from Tennessee. We just eat butter all the time. What are you looking at me for? Your own dad said that you could make a rock taste good if you put enough butter on it. And that is the truth. So, thanks for watching the videos. And if you have any comments or questions, leave them below.